Hi, my name's Kiara Eldred, and I'm going to teach you how to spin toys at the Bosque. We have poi and staff. Both are fun to learn with and are awesome for males or females. So let's have some fun. So I'm going to start by telling you about a couple different kinds of practice poi that you can use. These are just socks with a tennis ball, which is actually kind of hard. You might want to just put rice in them, and they're really nice to just practice spinning with, and they don't get tangled much. These kind are also interesting to spin. They have a long tail on them, which is pretty and kind of gets you used to how things sound and will move around you, but they can also get tangled really easily. And finally, we have fire poi. These are my favorite kind. They're monkey fist, and they're great. You can light things on fire. So spinning poi is fun and easy, and you can learn many moves quickly. I'm going to teach you a couple moves. One will be the butterfly. There's also spinning in different planes and stalls. These are a few moves that will give you a great intro and help you be able to start moving and dancing with them. So our first move will be just spinning in one plane forward and then backward. So I'm going to show you this from the side as well. Forward, the poi go basically forward. And then when I'm saying backwards, they're going back behind you. And so the important thing to keep in mind when you're doing this move is to keep it in one plane. So you want it very flat. And if you can get that well, then your poi won't get tangled with each other and you'll be off to a great start. So here we go again. Forward and backward. So another great move to know is how to stall. And a stall is basically making the poi stop. And this is important because when you stop your poi, then you can go on to a completely different move, and it doesn't matter what direction they were going before. So when you're thinking about a stall, it's better to start with one hand. Your poi are going to be moving in a circle, and your hand needs to follow the poi for when they stop. So a nice way to think about this is when your poi are 180 degrees away from where you want the stall to happen. So if I want my stall to be down, when the poi are up, I'm going to start moving my hand up in that direction. And this gets you a really nice stall down. And these can be done with either hand in any direction, up or sideways or anything like that. So just start with the basic forward, up and down stall, and you'll be on your way. So as you're learning new moves, for example the butterfly, you want to make sure that you do it both directions. So here's the forward direction that we just learned. You want to make sure you can also do it backwards. And it's a really good idea when you're starting to learn something to just try it both ways right off the bat, because the way someone teaches you might not be the easiest for you to do. So go forwards and backwards every time. And that will help you learn. So the next move that we're going to learn is the butterfly. In this one, your poi are going opposite directions, and they're both, if you remember the last move, we were going forward. They're going forward into each other. So when you're doing this, sometimes they can get tangled. You basically want one hand to be in front and on top of the other hand while you're spinning. So I'm going to exaggerate it right here, and then your poi won't hit each other. And in this move, the planes are really, really important because if this one is going straight and this one is too, they're not going to hit each other. But if one of your planes is off, then they're going to get really mixed up. So I'm going to show you this from the side as well. You can see I have my right hand on top and over my other one. Yeah. And that is the butterfly. So as you're learning new moves, for example the butterfly, you want to make sure that you do it both directions. So here's the forward direction that we just learned. You want to make sure you can also do it backwards. And it's a really good idea when you're starting to learn something to just try it both ways right off the bat, because the way someone teaches you might not be the easiest for you to do. So go forwards and backwards every time. And that will help you learn. Okay, the next move that I'm going to teach you today is the lotus. So for this one, your poi are going to be following each other over your head and in front of you. So this is how it looks, and it's nice to start out with one hand first. So whichever hand you're dominant with, you can go under and over your head. So it's basically like you're making a figure 8 over yourself and then in front of you. And when you're ready, you can add in the other hand, and think about your hand just following the other one. So you go down and up, and try doing it in the opposite direction as well. That's the lotus. And so this is how the lotus looks. It's also a really good move to start turning with, and it's a fun one to do. So the next move that you can do after you master the butterfly is called thread the needle, and it looks like this. So basically what's happening is my one hand is going over the other one. So you might want to just practice doing this a couple times, because this is the movement that your hands will be doing as the poi are moving. So once you have your butterfly going, when your poi are down, you're going to move one hand over and in front of the other one. And this move is pretty complicated. You probably won't get it on your first turn, but don't try, but don't be discouraged, because once you do get it, it's awesome. And this is also another one that you should practice doing backwards, or the other direction. So if you're spinning backwards butterfly, you can also do thread the needle, except for in this case, your one arm is going under the other arm. And I'll do this from the side for you. So right, left, one over the other, and the other direction. And that's thread the needle. Okay, our next move is going to be the 3-beat weave. So it's a 3-beat weave because you have 3 beats on each side. This is what it looks like. Basically, what you're doing with one hand is you spin it one time on the side that your hand is on, and then you spin it kind of twice on the other side. And you're doing the same thing with the other hand. And when you put them together, it looks like this. And this is one that you can turn with as well, but you have to, when you turn, you have to switch to going backwards. So when you start trying to do the 3-beat weave, it's best to start with just your forward planes, and then you can cross a hand in to start it out. And the same for the backwards weave. Start backwards and cross a hand over to go into it. So I hope you've had fun learning how to spin poi today. This isn't a one-day activity. You need to practice to get better, and I am sure that you will do great. It's a really fun thing to do, and you can do it wherever you are. Just bring some poi in your backpack, and when you're waiting for the bus, start spinning.